He set his plate down, pulled out his chair, and before the fork reached his mouth, 180 pounds of Boerboel had already placed an enormous head on the table edge and was staring at him. That was 14 months ago. He has not eaten a single meal alone since. He tried to eat dinner alone once, just once. He set his plate down, pulled out his chair, sat down, and before the fork reached his mouth, 180 pounds of Boerboel had materialized beside him, placed an enormous head directly on the table edge, and was staring at him with the patient, unblinking focus of someone who had been waiting for exactly this moment. That was 14 months ago. He has not eaten alone since. Ryan Bosch was 44 years old, a former construction foreman living in a two-bedroom house outside Knoxville, Tennessee. He had spent his entire adult life building things for other people: bridges, commercial buildings, structures that outlast the people who made them. After a knee injury forced him permanently off the sites 2 years ago, he came home to a house that felt like a job site after the crew had left. Quiet in the wrong way. Empty in the specific way that gets louder at night and louder still on Sunday mornings when there is nothing to do and nowhere to be. He got Atlas from a colleague whose wife had developed severe allergies and couldn't keep him. Atlas was 3 years old, 178 pounds, brindle coat with a face like a closed fist and eyes that were unexpectedly soft once you got close enough to actually see them. South African Boerboel, bred to guard farms against predators large enough to matter, built like a wall that had decided at some point to become a dog instead. Ryan's neighbor took one look and said, "That animal is going to eat you alive." Ryan said, "Probably not." The neighbor said, "I'm serious, those dogs are unpredictable." Ryan said, "I genuinely appreciate the concern." Atlas moved in on a Friday. By Saturday morning, he had already established the terms of their arrangement. The terms were simple. Ryan was not to be alone. Not in the kitchen, not in the garage, not in the bathroom, which Atlas entered by leaning against the door until it swung open, an action he performed with the quiet confidence of someone who had been doing it for years. Ryan bought a hook latch. Atlas figured it out in 6 days. Ryan removed the hook latch and did not replace it. The food situation developed its own specific rules. Atlas did not beg in the traditional sense. He did not whine or paw or perform. He simply appeared beside Ryan at every meal, placed his enormous head at table level, and waited. Not for food, just to be there. If Ryan moved his plate, Atlas moved his. If Ryan turned his chair, Atlas turned too. A slow, dignified rotation that never once broke the stare. Ryan started narrating meals out loud, because it was either that or feel watched in complete silence. "Okay, that's the chicken. You've seen chicken before. This is not new information." Atlas blinked. Ryan kept talking. It helped somehow. His coworker Marcus came over for the game one Sunday afternoon and spent the first 20 minutes genuinely afraid to move from his corner of the sofa. By halftime, Atlas had settled himself between them with his head on Marcus's knee. Marcus did not move for the entire second half. After the game, he said, "I think I need one of these." Ryan said, "They're not for everyone." Marcus said, "No, I think I specifically need one." "I see you're still here but haven't subscribed yet. That genuinely stings a little. Hit subscribe right now. You'll want to stay for what comes next." 3 months in, Ryan had a difficult week. A consulting project fell through. Money was tighter than he had planned. He spent 2 days eating standing at the counter, going to bed early, and not saying much to anyone. Atlas noticed on day 1. He started following Ryan more closely than usual. Not anxiously, the way someone follows a person they are quietly keeping an eye on. Close enough to be felt, far enough not to crowd. When Ryan sat on the back steps on the second evening and looked at the yard without really seeing any of it, Atlas came and sat beside him. Not in front, beside, facing the same direction, like they were looking at the same thing. They sat like that for almost an hour. Ryan didn't speak. Atlas didn't either. But when Ryan finally stood and went back inside, something had shifted. Not fixed, just lighter. He told Marcus about it the following week. Marcus said, "That's a therapy dog." Ryan said, "I didn't sign up for a therapy dog." Marcus said, I don't think he asked for your input on that. Moments like these are exactly why these stories deserve to be told. If this one is landing somewhere real for you, you already understand. The routines that settled in over the months that followed were entirely Atlas's design. Every morning at 6:31, he appeared at the bedroom doorway and exhaled once. Not a bark, a single, slow, deliberate breath that meant the day had started whether Ryan was ready or not. Every evening before dinner, he brought Ryan something from the living room, a shoe, a magazine, once a single oven mitt that Ryan still cannot account for. Ryan kept a box by the door. It filled up every week without fail. Ryan started sleeping better, not dramatically, not all at once, but steadily, and then consistently. The sound of Atlas breathing in the dark, deep and slow and absolutely certain of itself, was the one thing that had finally quieted a mind that had been loud for a very long time. On a Tuesday night in November, Ryan woke at 2:49 a.m. to Atlas standing at the bedroom window, a low, steady sound building deep in his chest. Ryan checked the property. The side gate was open. He was certain he had latched it before bed. He secured it and went back inside. He checked the neighborhood group the next morning. 2 houses down, someone had tried a door handle that same night. Nothing taken, nobody hurt, but someone had been on the street. Atlas had known before Ryan woke. He had already been watching while the house was dark and quiet, and Ryan had no idea. The neighbor who said Atlas would eat Ryan alive stopped by last month to ask about a contractor recommendation. Atlas came to the door, sat down, and regarded him with the expression of someone who had heard every single thing ever said about him and had quietly decided to be above all of it. The neighbor looked at him a long moment. "He's actually pretty calm, isn't he?" Ryan said, "When there is nothing worth worrying about, yes." Atlas is 4 now. He still appears at every meal. He still manages the bathroom door. He still brings something every evening and exhales at 6:31 every morning with the reliability of a clock that decided to become a dog. And Ryan has not eaten alone in 14 months. He doesn't plan to start. Some dogs guard the perimeter. Atlas guards the man inside it. And sometimes the thing you didn't know you needed shows up at 178 pounds and quietly, completely refuses to let you be on your own anymore. If you are thinking about a Boerboel, be honest about what you are committing to. They require presence, structure, and someone who is genuinely and consistently there. Give them that, and they will give you something you will recognize the first time you sit on your back steps at dusk and realize you are not sitting there by yourself. Would you want a dog that refuses to leave your side, or would that feel like too much? Tell me in the comments.